Alright, we are back with a fresh recording file. And we immediately move to the right to avoid an incoming ambush. Then we split our dwarves into groups. This time I'm going with some groups of 2 and some groups of 3. And I'm specifically grouping the experienced dwarves together and the inexperienced dwarves together. That way, the reason for this is because the tactics I'm going to have to use for this level involve using certain groups of dwarves basically as bait. And the issue with that is two things. One, the bait dwarves tend to die, and I don't want that to happen to dwarves who have experience because we need every advantage we can get in this level. Two, the rate of fire and accuracy of the bait dwarves doesn't really matter. Their job is just to be attacked, and they don't generally get to attack the enemy. So because of this, having the bait dwarves be the inexperienced guys so the experienced guys can provide cover for them is more likely to work. So you see, my strategy isn't entirely inhumane, only mostly inhumane. Right. This patrol is the way it works is we're going to ambush a couple of patrols. So there are two large groups of ghouls patrolling back and forth in this lower ground area. And we could just wander through here and fight them when we run into them, but then we'd end up fighting them on fairly level ground without much of a lead-up time, and then we'd all just be murdered. So instead, we're ambushing them. We're just going to bushwhack them.
Move here, move there.
The first patrol is actually fairly easy to ambush. That's not it, that's just one random goal. Because they'll come right next to the high ground. We still need these two dwarves as bait, though. Alright, let's boost the game speed a little bit. Okay, a lot of bit.
What now? Burn!
Okay, retreat. Pathfinder, you take out that one. You guys take out the one after it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that is how that is supposed to go. One dwarf took some slight damage, and otherwise everybody is basically fine. Now let's reposition to ambush the second group. Alright. These two dwarves, which were the bait last time, aren't going to have to be the bait this time. Instead, these two dwarves will be the bait. They're also pretty inexperienced. Of course, these guys are too, but then there's this guy who has 2 missions survived already. Right. This should be good.
Okay.
You get down here. And once again, increase the game speed just a little bit. That's not where I wanted you guys to go.
Yes, sir.
And just until they appear on our radar so that we know that they're there.
Make up your mind.
Alright.
What now? Yes. Yes, sir. Yes,
I messed that up a little bit. Alright, Pathfinder, see if you can rescue them.
Yeah. Yes,
Okay. 2 guys that were significantly injured, but otherwise were actually pretty much fine. That's a good start. Alright, let's keep moving.
Move here.
In case you're wondering, yeah, this level took a few tries. Okay, it took a few more than a few tries.
Make up your mind.
It took a lot of tries. Speaking of which, this is actually one level that I'm interested... this is one level? No. I'm interested in potentially someday going back and doing a Let's Play of this entire game on Legendary. Just both to show off what the differences are between each level on Legendary and on Normal, and also just kind of to show off because I can actually beat this game on Legendary. But this level is one of 2 levels that I think is likely to give me the most trouble. To the point where I wonder if I would have to skip this level on Legendary. The other levels I can beat, usually with just a couple of retries, where I will fail once or twice, but I can eventually get it to work. But this level, and one other one, the other one being the Watcher, for those of you who've played this game before, will give me a lot of trouble if I ever try to do this game on Legendary. In fact, frankly, the Watcher is going to give me quite a bit of trouble if I ever attempt, even just in my Let's Play of this game on Normal. Anyway, you see this cave, which looks quite a bit like the caves that we saw in the previous level that were full of ghouls. Except this cave is not full of ghouls. I don't even know why it's here, but it just kind of is.
Move here, move there.
And instead of being full of enemies, it has one guy guarding it who we can just easily blow up. Alright, now for the next part of this. There is an ambush coming up.
Okay.
Now, the way you can... There's a trick to this. As you move through a map, the map itself and the terrain becomes visible before the enemy units in a particular area become visible. And the terrain itself stays visible after you move away from an area, but the enemies on the terrain don't. However, objects like these pus packets are considered to be terrain. And because of this, we can see that there are pus packets here, foreshadowing an ambush by ghouls, before we could find out about it any other way. Alright? And so, once again, we're going to ambush the ambush. I want an at least mostly uninjured dwarf, but one who doesn't have much experience. That'll be you. Haddings. The issue with these ghouls, by comparison to the ghouls we've dealt with so far, is that if these ghouls don't have any dwarves within their sight range, then they will turn around, go back to the top of the hill, and pick up more pus packets. Because of this, we can't just have one dwarf poke them and then run away to lure them into an ambush. That one dwarf would die, maybe take a few ghouls with him, and then the ghouls would return to their ready position and wait for another sacrifice. So instead, I have one dwarf that is going to be the bait, and then this group of 3 dwarves who should be enough to wipe out all of the ghouls, and then I have more dwarves a little bit farther back so that if this group has to retreat, then they're retreating into cover.
Casualty.
And I was too busy getting my units into formation to actually do what I was supposed to do, so, oops. Let's try that again and actually follow through this time.
Make up your mind.
Okay, keep walking.
Move here.
Casualty.
Alright. Now we're sending in the rest of the force to exploit this opportunity.
Catch. Make up your mind.
How can your aim be that bad and you be a Pathfinder?
Casualty. Casualty.
You know, I blame myself. That was just pathetic.
Move here, move there. What? Yes, sir. Yeah. And yeah.
Casualties.
Okay. So, over the course of a single ambush, we went from no casualties to only having 3 guys left, all of whom are critically injured. Let's see how far we can take this. Though, frankly, with my luck, I'm probably going to end up accidentally walking them off a cliff or something. Alright.
Yes. Okay. Make up your mind, yeah? Yes.
Casualty.
Yes, sir. Where?
One more.
Casualties.
Yeah. That happened. Well, thank you for joining me for this epic failure. now, back to your regularly scheduled whatever playlist this video ends up being a part of. As usual, I love you all, thank you for watching.